Shout out to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for sponsoring this video. Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca, and in this week's video, I'm drawing myself into anime scenes. It's been a long time since I last drew myself into scenes from anime. This is mostly because I haven't been finding any anime that I want to draw myself into. However, there are a lot of anime that many of you suggest that I draw myself into, but I never really choose them because I don't know much about the shows. I often prefer to draw myself in anime that I have watched or know a decent amount about. But today, I have decided to draw myself into some of the popular suggestions, and they all just so happen to be from different decades. We are going to start with the 2000s, and the anime is Naruto Shippuden. The scene I chose is from episode 1. Naruto and the gang seem to be in a meeting of some sort. For my base, I found two options, this one and this one. I tried to fit this one behind the two characters, however, it felt a bit awkward, but the second one felt pretty good, so it's going to be my base. We will come back to talk about the base in a moment. Right now, I am drawing around the characters with red so that I know where I can stop drawing. Since my character is going to be placed behind the other characters, I need to draw around them, and the red lines help me keep this in mind as I sketch. So back to the base. If you've never seen me do this before, I like to use pre-existing characters as a base to help me stay very true to the style of the show. Obviously, I am able to mimic art styles to an extent without using a base. I do it all the time in my other two series where I draw myself as video game or cartoon characters. However, when it comes to drawing myself into scenes, I like to use a base because the art I draw needs to mimic the original art as closely as possible in order for my drawing to fit in. I chose this scene because it does focus a bit more on the characters, so it will allow me to draw in a bit more detail. This show is technically the newest show I'll be drawing myself into today. However, it is still on the older side, so when characters get smaller on screen, things get lower res and it's harder to draw details. Next is the line art. The line work for Naruto doesn't have much for changes in size. It's all pretty much the same width and is also really smooth. So for my line work, I'm using the 4 Effect line pen in the size 3.5. This is the size that felt the closest to the art in the scene. The 4 Effect line pen doesn't change in size with pressure, and it also doesn't have any tapering. It always stays the same size, so it's really nice to mimic the line art for this scene. Out of all of the scenes I'm drawing myself into today, this one took the longest, which is a bit funny because I feel like it features the least amount of my character. I feel like it took the longest because I was honestly feeling a bit rusty. Like I said, it's been a really long time since I last did this. Whoa, I just checked, it's been nearly 2 years. The last time I did this, I was drawing myself into anime movies. Wow, where has the time gone? I did not think it had been that long since I last did this. Anyways, I think this also took the longest because I had to draw around the characters. Drawing around the characters always adds a lot of time, mostly because I have to line things up just right so that the line work fits in, and it will fit in even more once I add the finishing details. Next up is the coloring and shading. Till my color choices fit in, I try to select my colors from within the screenshots, or I'll select a color from a character and slightly change the hue. I did this a lot for my outfit since I wanted it to be more on the teal side instead of green. So I basically know nothing about Naruto. I know of some of the characters just because they are popular, like Sakura, Sasuke, and I know Kakashi because people often compare him with my original character Tokume. And I do see the similarities. Oh, and I also know Hinata because I drew her in a video one time. I think it was a 6 fan arts challenge video. The video is probably pretty old at this point. I did choose Naruto Shippuden over Naruto since all of the characters are younger in Naruto. And I wanted to draw myself not as a little kid. Plus Shippuden is the one I'm a little bit more familiar with because I remember seeing commercials for it or like reruns when I was in my early teens. From the amount that I watched while looking for a screenshot, it does seem like a very classic shonen anime. It was making me kind of nostalgic. There are some shonen animes that I enjoy, but I don't really know if this one would be my cup of tea. Lastly, we have the finishing touches. I need to make my art look lower res, and to do this, I shrink down my art and then scale it back up. This gives it that kind of fuzzy pixely look. I also use the mosaic filter set to a super low setting to give my art that more jagged look. And with that, the first picture is done. Here's me in a scene from Naruto Shippuden. Also, I really hope I'm saying the name right. I apologize if I have not been saying it right. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and it felt like a good warm-up to get me back into doing this. Also, if you are a fan of anime, I get the feeling you'd also be a fan of Japanese snacks from Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Experience Japan from the comfort of your own home through Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co snack boxes. Yes, they are both snack boxes, but each offer a unique experience. Tokyo Treat is a monthly fun and exclusive Japanese snack box featuring unique and seasonal flavors from all around Japan. Each box is filled with a variety of up to 20 fun and exclusive Japanese snack items that are only available for a limited time. Sakura Co is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and a special Japanese tableware. Both boxes come with a booklet that allows you to learn more about the snacks you receive, as well as allergen information. They also contain a ton of interesting information about Japan and its culture. Spring is coming, and it's time to celebrate the Sakura season with Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Both boxes feature a special Sakura design that is super pretty and are filled with Sakura-themed snacks, both sweet and savory. Tokyo Treat features snacks like Kit Kat Strawberry Shortcake, Sakura Marshmallows, Sakura Donut, and many more. My two favorite snacks from this box are the Sakura Blossom Cake and Kit Kat Strawberry Shortcake. This cake is soft, sweet, and packed with cherry blossom flavor. The creamy chocolate center really adds to the experience. These crispy treats combine creamy white chocolate and pops of tangy strawberry. I always love getting to try the unique Kit Kat flavors in these boxes. Sakura Co features snacks like Sakura Manju, Sakura Mochi, Strawberry Belgian Waffle, and many more. All pair perfectly with the sweet Sakura tea. This month's tableware is the super pretty Sakura glass. I love all of the gold detail. My two favorite snacks this time were the Sakura Daifuku and Strawberry Waffle Cookie. The super soft Daifuku encases smooth and sweet white bean paste. Both flavors go so well together. These waffle cookies are super crisp, and I love the rich buttery flavor paired with the strawberry. It's super good. If you want to enjoy a Sakura picnic from the comfort of your own home, you can use my code DRAWMANGA to get $5 off your first box. There are links in the description and pinned comment down below. Thank you so much again to Sakura Co and Tokyo Treat for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to drawing. Our next anime is from the 90s, and it is Cardcaptor Sakura. I looked through the entire first episode for a scene to draw myself into, but I didn't find any good ones there, so I went to episode 2 and found this one. For my base, I'm grabbing it from the same scene, it's just a different frame. I'm going to use the standing pose as my base. To make sketching over the base easier, I lower the opacity. I also make my canvas this pink color because it's easier on my eyes. When my canvas has a lot of white, it starts to hurt my eyes after a little while. I think it's mostly because I work on a pretty large tablet. In case you're curious, it is an XP Pen Artist 24 Pro, and the software I am using is Clip Studio Paint. I was really excited to draw in the style of this show because it is super cute. It's the classic shoujo art style that inspired me so much when I was young. So once again, I was feeling very nostalgic. They have the big shiny eyes and fluffy hair that I really love. Also, in this scene, I think Tomoyo caught Sakura flying around with her magical powers on camera, and then Kero comes out of Sakura's bag, so there's no denying it. But I could be wrong. For some reason, the subtitles stopped working, so I'm kind of just going off of context. But I do sometimes find it funny how much Japanese I do understand just from watching anime. I mean, like, it's not a crazy amount, but I do understand, like, common phrases and sayings. Or random words kind of here and there. This time for the line work, I'm going to use my usual brush, being the AA ink brush. The line work for this anime is more textured and does vary in width. I couldn't find any info about this online, but I'm assuming the line work is like this because it was animated in a more traditional way, but I could be wrong. In ways, I'm surprised I haven't watched this anime before, because honestly, it seems like it would have totally been down my alley as a teen. It still seems down my alley, but I could see myself not taking the time to watch it because there are already so many shows and stuff that I want to watch. But yeah, it's super cute. I love the art style and the eyes are so pretty. Honestly, I kind of wish I could find the dub on an official streaming website because if I did, I would maybe turn the show on in the background as I got work done. But I can only find the subbed version. That's honestly the hardest part about having anime that I want to watch is that I need to sit down and actively watch it because I need to read the subtitles. Although a lot of animes do get dubbed pretty quickly nowadays, which is honestly really nice. When I was young, I was watching anime episodes in 3 separate parts on YouTube at 480p. I wish an anime series that was easier to find to watch is Aikatsu. It's just a cute shoujo idol anime, and when I was young, I would watch the episodes on YouTube, but now it's like impossible to find, and it's not on any official streaming sites. Plus there are like a ton of episodes, so it's hard to find them all. I am very happy that I at least eventually got Yumario Patisserie on Blu-ray. Once again, it was a super hard anime to find, but I loved it so much and I was so excited when it was released as a physical copy in the US. I actually need to check to see if I still have it. It might still be at my family's house. Anyways, for the finishing touches, I added a bit of chromatic abrasion with a filter since I noticed that the screenshot had some. You often see chromatic abrasion used for making art look more 90s or retro. In this case, I needed to use it because I do need the art to fit the other art that is from the 90s. I also applied a bit of blur to a copy of my line work and shrunk down my art to give it the more fuzzy look. And we are done. Here is me in a scene from Cardcaptor Sakura. Like I said, the art style is very cute, so I may try watching it sometime. Next, we are going back to the 80s with the very popular anime Dragon Ball Z. For the scene, I chose this one. It is from episode 2, and I liked it since it was a bit more closely zoomed in on the characters. Plus, it had this very nice empty space for me to place myself into. For my base, I'm going to use Bulma from a different shot in this scene. I was thinking of trying to mesh together this screenshot with this pose so that I could have my head turned where the other characters are looking. But it also felt like it made sense for me to be looking at those two with concern, so I decided to just keep this pose. I was a bit confused when drawing over Bulma because her shoulders seem really wide, but based off of how her belt is curving, I can tell her waist is much smaller, potentially. So I wasn't 100% sure how to draw my proportions. I'm drawing myself with a baggy sweater, so I kept the proportions pretty similar, but I did make them a bit more narrow. I probably should have done this before drawing, but after I was done drawing, I looked up some other character shots of Bulma, and her proportions do make much more sense in those ones. But her look also changes a lot over the course of the series. Like, I had to triple check I was looking at the same character, and I'm still not totally sure, so sorry if I'm wrong. If it's not already obvious, I have never watched Dragon Ball Z, and I did know that I knew very little about Dragon Ball Z and Goku, but like I never knew that Goku was married and had a kid. That honestly really surprised me. I was like, whoa, Goku's a dad? Speaking of kids, I will now give you all your usual baby update. I am now 29 weeks pregnant and in the 3rd trimester. It is getting trickier and trickier to sit close to my desk as I draw, and I almost can't zip up my winter coat. However, I really don't want to buy a new coat, especially since we are getting close to the end of winter. So I may just wear extra layers or try to hold my coat shut when I go outside. Thankfully, I don't go out of the house too often. But baby is doing very well. We had an appointment and ultrasound recently, and everything was on track and looking good. We have also picked a baby name, and thanks to my chat at last week's live stream, we have come up with 2 options for nicknames that you all can call him. We have Tater Tot because it's a common joke that I'm a potato, and we also have Mini Manga. I have a poll set up on my channel under the post tab so you all can vote for your favorite. Another popular option was Baby Potato, but a lot of us agreed that it doesn't really work because he's not gonna stay a baby. So back to the art. For the coloring, I was a bit surprised by how much shading I had to add. For Cardcaptor Sakura, I applied very little shading. However, for this scene here, the characters had a decent amount of shading applied to them. This scene did seem kind of big and important, so the extra shading was probably trying to aid with that feeling. For the finishing touches, I followed a very similar process to before. I added chromatic abrasion, rescaled the art, but an extra step I did was adding some noise. I noticed that the art had a bit of a soft noise-like texture to it, so I applied noise to my character and blurred it to give my art a kind of similar texture. So here I am in Dragon Ball Z, as well as the other anime I drew myself into. It was really fun doing this again since it has been so long since I last did it. If you'd like to see me do this again, please give this video a thumbs up and leave recommendations for anime you'd like to see me draw myself into. I have a list of the anime that I've already drawn myself into in the description for your reference. Since I do get a lot of recommendations from people to draw myself into anime I've already drawn myself into. Before we end, I want to thank my super awesome YouTube members and Patreon patrons for their support. It means so much to me. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!